Oh, hey. So I am going to be interviewing Presley Tennant pretty soon. I'm just listening to her song, Doug is So Grave. It is pretty cool. And she should be here any minute. Oh, you like my new headphones? Got them for Christmas. And now we wait and listen to this song and change this. This one's called Something in Her. Presley Tennant is here. Let her in. And now we wait for a minute. Hey,
How's it going?
it's going okay. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
I
I said
haven't tried these headphones out yet, so I'm like,
I
I
love
don't know.
those. They're so cool.
Thanks. I got her for Christmas from my kid, who is 20.
I love
Not
that.
technically a kid, just my kid.
Sure, I love
So
that.
I'm recording. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, just checking because you got to do that now,
But I get it. You don't want to get in trouble nowadays.
right? Like, don't arrest me. I don't want to go to jail.
Exactly.
Food's not good, so
Hold on. There we
in
go.
jail. Yeah, let's not go there.
I won't do that. I swear.
So, are you ready for
Yes,
some
ma'am.
questions? So, my name's Holly, and
So-
you're Presley. That's a great name, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like, my last name starts with a P, so I can never do P names.
I get it. I do understand.
And I'm like, man, love that name, Presley or Phoebe or Penelope. I'm like,
Wait, that's so cute. I love those.
right. I'm like, I couldn't name my kids that, so I had to. But I'm so jealous of people that can.
I said I love your last name. That's one of my favorite hockey play. One of my favorite players. That's his last name. Yeah,
That's
Corey Perry
cool.
from the Anaheim Ducks, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I love it.
Yeah, that's cool that you have a little connection.
I said a little bit, a little bit. Too many
My
more.
mom's last name was Ventura, and like some of my kids' last name is also Ventura. And there's a player, he used to play for the Royals. I don't know where he is now, but his last name was Ventura. We're like,
Girl, represent.
yes. My mom had a jersey with his name on it. It's like,
I love that. Like you got a customized one.
yeah, yes, I love that shirt.
That's awesome.
So, what are you working on at the moment?
So as of right now, I am actually going to play or sing at the Pro Bowl this weekend, which I'm very excited for, down in Orlando, Florida.
That's exciting.
I am so excited. It should be a really fun time. And then I have a bunch of new music that I'm working on right now. One, I've been teasing a couple songs on social media recently, but I just posted the one that will be coming out, at least a little snippet of it in the meantime, till I get the final mix back. But a lot of new music is on the way, a lot of shows. I have the Pro Bowl, and then I have a lot of dates for Boots in the Park. Getting to open up for so many different artists that I cannot wait for. And yeah, that's kind of what everything's been going. And then I go back out to Nashville in a couple weeks to
exciting.
To write more music and go to CRS and meet everyone again in country radio, which I'm very excited for. I just can't wait for 2025, what it's going to bring.
Right. Do you have a favorite singer, like from The Voice or like, any other show?
Honestly, that is such a hard question. The Voice, I will be biased because I'm like, every single singer is my favorite singer, especially my season, because I'm so good friends with a lot of them. Right. So it's hard to pick just one off The Voice. American Idol, I mean, that was like the show that I grew up watching. So it was one of the first things, and I feel like everyone did. And for me, that was like Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood. Those were my absolute top two. That was like the holy grail of who I loved as an artist, or who I loved growing up as artists. I think they were so cool and they were so real, and I don't know, they just gave it their all, and I really admired that.
Yeah. My personal favorite, and I haven't watched every season, but I might. I'm realizing I have to watch less true crime because it's a little.
It'll get you. It'll get you.
I'm like, it's a little dark. So I've been watching Blown Away, which is about glass blowing, and I'm almost done. So I'm like, yep, maybe I'll start watching.
You gotta go back. You gotta rewatch
Go
it.
back. My personal favorite from The Voice is Huntley. He's pretty recent. I think he was season 24.
Yes. I was like, he just was on there.
He's got the braids and he's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
Oh, I love that. I know who you're talking about now.
I would say I'm not a country fan, but I listen to a lot of rock.
You like that southern rock?
I love the southern rock thing. Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, and he's cute. He's too young for me, but don't tell my boyfriend.
I was like, I gotta go watch him and listen to him. I feel like I know who you're talking about, but it's there. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know if because it's so hard. It's like there's so many seasons, 24/7. So you gotta like be able to keep up on it. Otherwise, it's just gonna pass you by, and then they're moving on.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I gotta start all over. When did you start writing songs? I think that's really cool, by the way, to be a singer and a songwriter.
I mean, by myself. I was pretty young. It's like I always used to journal. And I was like, oh, I can turn this into music, which I thought was really cool. But I mean, at 13, 14 years old, it's a little hard to write about things that I was like, I always had cooties.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't write about a boyfriend. Like, I haven't had one of those, but I don't want to go back to school, so I can write one of those. But I will say that I took songwriting more seriously probably within the past 2.5 years, 3 years. Right. When I really started going out to Nashville more consistently and had a different like appreciation of songwriting, because I mean, that's kind of like, it's like music is the canvas, but the lyrics are the paints, and it's what you do with it. Right. And so to me, that's just like, it made me open my eyes where I'm like, okay, like, how do I want to paint this? How do I want to paint this song? How do I want to imagine it? And how do I want it to be portrayed and all these different things? So I definitely had a different appreciation for it at that point and took it way more seriously and more involved, where I wasn't just writing lyrics down. I was like, does this make sense? Does this work? Is this what I want to say? That sort of thing.
Right. Who do you think influenced you the most musically?
Oh my gosh, so many different artists, and also from so many different genres. I mean, my top 3 growing up were, I mean, in the country world, it was Carrie Miranda and Chris Stapleton. Those were my favorites. And then it's like you had like, I mean, obviously Kelly Clarkson. You had like Christina Aguilera, Demi Lovato, and then you had a little more of like the heart, and like more of like the rock kind of feel. And then like Aretha Franklin and Etta James. I took kind of little things that I loved from all of them, and I made them my own. And I don't know, I just appreciate them so many ways, in so many different ways, for so many different things, because they all do something that is so unique to them.
Right. What would you tell people who aren't sure if they like country or if they should like country?
I would say keep an open mind. There's a song for every situation you've gone through. The one thing I will say, someone told me this and it stuck with me, and I feel like I bring it up all the time, but it's like, country music is music for real people that are living the daily life, the going to work and the heart broke, just hanging out with some friends, like that sort of thing. It's everything that you go through, there's a song for.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I like, probably Dolly Parton is my favorite as far as country. Like this picture that's like a print of Dolly Parton. I was gonna wear my Dolly Parton shirt, but I think my kids stole it.
I said that's all the time with my sister. I'm trying to find clothes and they're all gone, and I'm like, she probably took it to college.
So I mean, it happens. So someday I'll find it. I'll be like, yes, like got it back.
It's mine again. I do understand.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about Riffs and Rescues? That sounds like an awesome organization.
Thank you. Yeah, I started Riffs and Rescues, I want to say back in 2020, 2021. And it was really when COVID was happening. And so you weren't really able to go out in public. So I would do these Facebook live streams and team up and partner up with like these organizations and shelters and rescues to help raise awareness for the animals that are inside, because it's like animals are our best friends. I have one dog right now. My other dog passed away, but it's like,
oh, I'm sorry.
He lived a very long life. He was the cutest thing ever. But it was one of those things that's like, I love animals and animals are our best friends, and why they deserve to have a home, and a home that loves them and will keep them forever. And it's like another thing that I heard, it's like, oh, like these animals are only in our lives for so long, but we're in their lives for all of it. So it's like
Right.
you should give them everything because they're there for us and they do it without any questioning. Like they're just there for you always. And so the goal is to just kind of, it started off as these live streams where people could donate directly to the live stream, and it goes directly to the organizations or the shelters or the rescues. And now that everything, I mean, being back in person and things like that, I have been going inside the shelters and getting to see like all the animals, whether it's the dogs, the cats, the horses, whatever you can think of,
Right.
as well as meeting the volunteers that give in their time and their staff. Because I mean, without them, it wouldn't be possible. And so it's really cool to see, especially like as an in-person thing, I'm getting to be there and help raise awareness and seeing things firsthand.
So, just a side note. So there, with the fires in California, there's a man that lost two of his dogs. Like he didn't think they died, but he couldn't find them. And then the news crew came out and they helped him look for his dog. Did you see that? That was the best.
There
I
was
wanted to
one dog,
cry, but I love that.
if I'm not mistaken, I had heard that one dog he got, well, one of like they both ran away, but he found one of them very quick because it was at like
Right.
some, and then all of a sudden he got the news, got involved somehow, and and then all of a sudden he's over at like a neighbor's house, and then he starts squeaking the toy, and the dog runs down the
Yes.
driveway.
That is the best. That I love that. He's so excited to see the dog. Like,
I was
not
like,
gonna cry.
I had tears in my eyes, and I was like, these are the like this. That is the best. That has to be the best feeling. It's like you might have lost everything, but you didn't. Might have lost like your house, but you didn't lose your home because you still have the ones that
Right.
matter most to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I thought that was great. So, what do you enjoy doing besides music?
Okay, it kind of just depends. If I have a free day during winter, I will probably be up in the mountains snowboarding.
Cool.
I love doing that, or I'm out in the desert. I mean, and then if it's summer or something like that, I'm usually just down at the beach, just writing, reading, whatever I can do.
Yeah.
I said, otherwise, I feel like everything I do is music, so it's not very often I get to do anything else. But those are always like my top choices whenever I have like a free day or like a weekend or something. I'm gonna go do something where I can kind of just unplug and be away from everything.
So, are you enjoying living? Do you live in Nashville?
So I am living in California,
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
out in Nashville almost half the time. So I would say I split time between here and there. Um,
Okay.
but I love it out in Nashville. It is one of my favorite places. I remember when I first went out there, I think I was 18 and just graduated high school. And it was just, I fell in love with it. I knew at that moment that's where I wanted to end up. Like I love the people. Everyone is an art. There's so many different artists. There are people in the music industry. So it just kind of inspires you because everyone's doing what you want to do. So it's like, oh my gosh, like they're doing it. Like I want to do this too. And so
Right.
it's such a cool feeling. And it's one big community. And I don't know, I definitely want to be out there full time soon.
Right. So I was born in a suburb of Nashville, but I wasn't raised in Tennessee. I grew up in Ohio, and I'm like, come on, mom. Like, she- so close to being raised somewhere cool.
I went out to Ohio.
Ohio is okay, but you know,
It's just so everything is so green over there also. It's like I'm used to seeing just palm trees for the most part and like your normal trees or whatever, but palm trees are like what you always see, and then it's all brown and gray everywhere. And so when I went out to Tennessee and everything was green, I was like, this is another planet. Like this doesn't exist. I'm like,
right.
there's no way this is real.
It's
Like,
really beautiful in
it
Tennessee.
it is. And then I got the allergies and then I knew it was real because I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's beautiful out there and I absolutely love it.
Have you been to Graceland?
I have not. That is one place I would
I
love to.
haven't either.
That is one place I am dying to go down to and see everything. Because that's over in Memphis.
Yeah,
And that's like 3 hours away, I think.
I think something
Um,
like that.
2, 3 hours. I'm like, I could do that. No problem.
Yeah, totally. So, how many Elvis fans do you think are your fans?
It's so funny because I feel like everyone for the most part that I meet, they always ask if I was named after Elvis.
Right.
And I wasn't named after Elvis, but because I do music, I'm like, I feel like I need to switch the story up.
Yeah.
I was like, because otherwise, when my mom found out that they were having a baby, they were like, oh, like if it's a boy, we're gonna name it Preston. And then they found out I was a girl, and they're like, oh, Presley's cool, like that's close to what we wanted. And I was like, I could have been named Preston as a boy, but Presley is also a lot better, or Preston as a girl. But I think Presley's like a cool name, especially now that I do music. It's just, I don't know, it's like a cool little like moments intertwining.
Right.
It was supposed to happen.
Yes. So what do you want people to know about your music?
Ooh, I would say that people really get to see, especially with this music that's coming out this year, people really get to see an insight to me. Because it's one thing, I feel like with the music I put out last year, not that it wasn't, but it wasn't very vulnerable. Like I wasn't being open. And I feel like as an artist, that's one of the biggest things. And the more that I think it's always just been like a thing that I've always done. And so within the music from last year to this year, it's like there's been so much life that's lived. And I'm like, I want to be able to tell these stories and tell everything that's happened. And so I feel like people within this new music will really get to see who and know who I am. Because it's so hard when you only have 3 minutes, but it's like there's so much stuff that I am like so excited to share. So I feel like people would just really get to see an inside of me and know who I am.
Awesome.
Hey.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
And that was my last question.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I usually do about 10 because that seems to work out most of the time, unless somebody's like, no, yes.
Yeah, just the one answer question.
And to me before, I'm like,
very
I
nice.
think of more questions.
But thank you so much. Oh my God, that was so quick. I'm like, what?
I can't tell you how. So right now, I can't tell what time it is.
It was like, it says 17. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know. I'm like, I can't think of more questions right now.
I was like, I'm so surprised. I was like, oh my goodness. What? No,
right?
but
That was quick.
And it was so wonderful to meet you. And I
love it was nice to meet you.
I was like, my sister had him growing up. I'm sorry, I'd always steal them from her. I love them.
My kid's like, you're old, Mom. I'm like, I don't care. I'm wearing.
Exactly. You wear what you want.
Wearing them. I still get sidetracked in the toy department. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be an adult.
And I don't know why, but sometimes it's a lot cooler when you're an adult than when you are little because you don't get it yet. And you're like, I didn't have this growing up. So I guess that slime is now a thing.
Right. As a mom, I did not like it. Do not like there's probably still carpet in my house with slime on it. And stuff lasts forever. I think it had glitter in it too.
I was like, I remember growing up for me, it was I didn't want any of like the toys. I wanted the nail polish. Now I spilt that everywhere all the time.
Also have some of that in the kitchen.
We finally got new carpet.
Like now that my kids are older, I could finally like redo floors because they might not spill so much.
Exactly.
I hope. Fingers crossed.
That is so funny. It was so wonderful to meet you. And thank you.
It's nice to meet you too.
I said, you take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Oh, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.